And turning to Commitment 2023, critics call it a power grab, a political power grab. Supporters say it is needed to protect Ohio's Constitution.
So whatever you think about issue 1, there's no question it's drawing people to the polls already. And WLWT News Source Todd Dykes has a look now at what the first week of early voting might mean for next month's special election. Hi there, Todd.
Hi, Sheree and Ashley. After talking to voters here in Hamilton County a couple of days ago, I spent this afternoon checking the pulse at Butler County's Board of Elections. The conversations I had could be telling. Despite seeing a lot of yes on one sides outside Butler County's Board of Elections office today, a supermajority of people who were willing to tell me how they feel about the ballot initiative said it's a bad idea.
I just kind of viewed the issue as sort of a blatant power grab.
At its core, Issue 1, crafted by conservative lawmakers in Columbus, would make it harder for citizens to amend Ohio's Constitution.
There's bipartisan opposition to the issue, right? We all know that it's about the issue in November. That's what they're trying to subvert in terms of the will of the voter. So I voted no and was proud to do it.
The issue in November that Weston Linder is talking about is a proposed citizen-led abortion rights amendment Ohio voters may be asked to decide during the general election this fall. That possibility is elevating the stakes of Issue 1's fate.
We have seen some excitement in the first few days of early voting. We can tell that there are some passionate voters out there.
That includes supporters of Issue 1. But as was the case at Hamilton County's Board of Elections on the first day of early voting, people opposed to the issue have been more willing to say so by far. Others, like Thomas Blakely of Middletown, choose to be guarded.
Are you a yes on one or a no on one, or do you care to share your thoughts?
I'd rather not comment right now.
It's still early days, and voting data may or may not reflect a trend. But in Butler County, through the end of the day yesterday, more registered Democrats than Republicans had either voted in person or requested an absentee ballot. It's the same story when it comes to in-person voting in Warren and Hamilton County. The numbers are slightly reversed in Claremont County, where Republicans had a 14-voter advantage over Dems just before 2 this afternoon. Now, there's no early voting this weekend, but it will continue across the state at 8 o'clock Monday morning. Todd Dykes, WLWT News 5.